Yo, 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 what is up? What is up, YouTube boxing family? It is K right here. I'm back with another video for y'all today, and I wanted to do a little bit of a boxing rookie watch for Mr. Bobby Henry. He goes by the name of Heavy Hands. He's out of Miami, Florida. 6'2". I'm pretty sure that arm reach is pretty long. I'll probably give it a wild guess of like a 74 or 75 inch arm reach at least. But he is a welterweight, and he is 5-0 with 3 of those wins by way of knockout. And he is a very, very good welterweight fighter. He was pretty active heading into 2021, but he hasn't been active ever since then. I don't know what's going on with him, but I figured I'd make this little video to talk about him because he was a pretty good up-and-coming fighter from what I heard, but I think that the problem with anybody out of that skill set is just that you don't have enough talent in the pool for young fighters to really like showcase or shine. And similar to any fighter that comes into boxing, the biggest problem that I have with any fighter not testing themselves early in their career against other young up-and-coming fighters is just testing the opposition. And I think that makes all the sense in the world, because it's like, look, boxing is supposed to be a young gun sport, but the problem is that people don't test themselves to the level of opposition in which we want to see them in the ring with these common foes or common opponents in their division. So for Bobby Henry's case, I mean, he's a good fighter. I don't really like to just gas up fighters early. I do give fighters the benefit of the doubt if they are willing to get up there and start building their career up. But I think with Bobby's case, he does have good skill set. I've looked at a couple of his fights. He has good power at the welterweight division. The biggest thing that I do question is the chin. That might be a little bit something where welterweight division needs to be a little bit more hyper stacked once all the 140 pounder fighters come up and wait to fight the welterweight division opponents. And I think that's really the biggest takeaway from it, because the welterweight division, it's hyper loaded. There's a lot of great talent on there, but the biggest issue of the manner is just trying to get these fights together. And I think that's like the biggest issue, of which I could really say for myself, that's really what makes the welterweight division very interesting, because you start seeing a lot of these guys coming up from either lightweight or I would say lightweight or junior welterweight. So I mean, it all really depends on where the opposition lies, because we could all say like certain people in the division can shine, but we just don't know how well they're gonna do, because looking at all these names in the welterweight division, I don't know who the hell any of these guys are. But I do know some of these fighters in which I know, like, oh yeah, this guy's going to be good because I know who he is, because, he's been putting himself, on the map. Like James Martin, I think he's going to, do some damage one day. But, the biggest problem with him is just that he can't punch. But he has a good chin, and he definitely knows how to keep his defense up. And he's been on a pretty decent, fighting streak. Obviously, he has a fight lined up coming up in October. But, you could see the progression of his skill set, because he's not willing to give up his record for the sake of him, being, exposed per se. And I think that's really the biggest issue with a lot of fighters in the welterweight division. Not a lot of guys want to fight each other because they want to be perfect, with like their little, Floyd Mayweather, campaign saga, to be perfect with like a good record when they get up there to the world title level, because, it's obviously for the bag. It's not, for legacy. It's not for like, oh, like I want a perfect record. Maybe to some they do, because they do want to emulate or, eclipse Floyd Mayweather's, record, where somebody can go, 82-0 with perfect high level competition, which, people would, refer to Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., but out of his 82, out of his 80 something, opponents, or 82 like opponents that he had fought when he was like at the prime of his career, he was not fighting high level opposition. His very first like 30 to 40 fights were like a bunch of low level opposition opponents, and that's pretty much like the biggest takeaway from his foundation as a fighter. Like he did not test himself with all the high level opposition until he started becoming champion, and then he had to fight really good competition like Edwin Rosario and all these other high level names, Frankie Randall, Meldrick Taylor, in which I thought he had lost that fight and the referee robbed Meldrick Taylor. Like all these names were like the greatest names that he fought towards the middle prime of his career, heading into the end prime of his career. So that's pretty much like the only problem that I have with, a guy like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., in which I do give him his credit. He's a tremendous fighter. He has great skills, but, the issue of the matter is the opposition. Did you test yourself enough with all the with all the difficult level opposition, in your career? And did you put yourself in position to be the greatest fighter that you could have been? See, now, for Bobby Henry's case, I think he has a very good, chance to dominate the welterweight division. And I like his style because, the only reason why that I'm talking about him is because he's actually putting in that work. But the problem is that we got to see him active. And that's going to be like the biggest problem heading into, the following year. So I don't know what he's going to be doing, but it's going to be interesting to see what he will be doing for the remainder of the following year, heading into next year. So I don't know what he's doing. Maybe somebody that knows more than me can talk about it. I'm obviously more excited to look forward to see Shenard Bunch back in the ring, hopefully after he heals up with his physical injury. That's what he told me. He's actually injured. He would have fought this past weekend, or this past Friday, on the September 10th card, in which obviously Joseph Adorno, he took over, and he did a pretty good job. I'm going to talk about him next, in my next video coming up. But yeah, I just figured that I talk about Mr. Brian, or Bobby Henry. He's a good fighter, man. He just needs to work a little bit more on staying active in the ring more, and I think he'll be good. I don't know too much about his backstory of like what he does, out in his, neck of the woods as far as training goes, but I'm pretty sure he gets good high quality sparring, and he's putting himself in position to be the best that he could be. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. He definitely has good skills. It's just a matter of like what we could see out of how good he is as a fighter. So I mean, that's pretty much it of what I have to say about him. He is a good fighter. He has decent skills. He just needs to keep developing as a fighter. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. Let me know what you guys think about this fighter. Do you think he's going to be good? Do you think he's going to make some noise in the welterweight division? Or do you think he's going to face some adversity in his career? So yeah, man, that's about it. I'm going to be coming out with my Joseph Adorno video after I talk about my other topic in boxing. So yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys like, rate, comment, and share, and subscribe. All right, thank you, man, or thank you to all that's watching. All right, thank you, bye.